So you all have been together as a group. What's a common misconception people have with girl groups?
Oh, that we all hate each other.
Yeah, that we're catty. We're not.
So annoying.
You and Katseye? But not catty.
Katseye's not catty.
We're not catty.
Yeah.
Sure, Jan.
In mid-February 2026, Hype and Geffen Records, the architects behind the global girl group Katseye, released a statement that sent shockwaves through their fandom. It announced that Manon Betterman, the group's sole black member, was taking a temporary hiatus to focus on her health. Fans immediately clocked the careful corporate language, but things exploded when Manon posted her own statement via Weverse, seemingly contradicting her label's message. But that wasn't all. Things further escalated when an account, widely believed to belong to fellow member Daniela's father, allegedly posted a reply to concerned fans. The now deleted comment reportedly said, "The show must go on. With or without a member, Katseye is bigger than one girl." Comments from Daniela's father destroyed whatever carefully constructed image the music industry's latest global project was cultivating. Katseye was supposed to be the blueprint for K-pop's future. Formed from over 120,000 applicants through the reality series Dream Academy, they were a hand-picked, trained multicultural supergroup designed for worldwide success. Their 2024 debut EP, Sis, Soft is Strong, was a promising start, and they were a vibrant mosaic of talent from the Philippines, South Korea, the US, and Switzerland. But behind the image of unity, a depressingly familiar story was seemingly unfolding. The storm around Manon's hiatus had become more than just idol drama. It seems to expose a deep-seated bias in the music industry and its audience, a preference for a marketable version of diversity, and I've always wondered, why is the public so quick to stand a multicultural group only to have its sole black member get inevitably mistreated? And why doesn't the same support always extend to all black girl groups fighting for the same spotlight? This isn't just about one member, it's a pattern. To understand the machine, you have to look at where the cracks start to show. The official story from Hype Geffen was one of support. Manon needed to prioritize her health, and the group would continue with their scheduled activities while awaiting her return. It was a polished PR statement designed to calm everyone down. Despite the history of the label sidelining Manon, overall their dynamic seemed very cold and transactional. A storm was brewing online following the statement, a storm Manon herself seemingly acknowledged in her own way. Shortly after the announcement, Manon went on her platform Weverse with a message that was both reassuring and cryptic.
We're going into the Weverse DM to say that I want you to hear this from me. I'm healthy, I'm okay, and I'm taking care of myself. Thank you for checking in. Sometimes things unfold in ways we don't fully control, but I'm trusting the bigger picture. Thank you for standing by me. I love you endlessly and can't wait to see you again.
Which seemed to contradict the idea that she was unwell. That one phrase, ways we don't control, sent fans into a frenzy. Some speculated this wasn't her choice and that maybe this was her final exit. A few situations give credibility to this theory. Manon had allegedly liked an Instagram reel with a blunt caption, "Another black girl subjected to racism and label mistreatment yet again." The post drew direct parallels between Manon, the troubling experiences of Normani of Fifth Harmony, and Leanne of Little Mix. Then in an interview published just before the hiatus, she had addressed criticisms of being lazy, saying, "Being called lazy, especially as a black girl, just isn't fair," she said. "Now I feel like I always need to put in extra work to prove something, even though I really don't." Things further escalated when comments allegedly from Daniela's father, Raphael, were exposed. His reported social media posts were a prime example of white fragility. I mean, he was coming for the black and the Asian girls. He was posting stuff like, "Katseye doesn't need to run off Manon. We need girls who can grind. The show must go on." Other comments the fan attributed to him, like, "5 is okay too." Like, it's just a lot. They were seen as not just insensitive, but also as a confirmation of the disposability that the fans feared. That Instagram post Manon reportedly liked wasn't random. It explicitly named Normani and Leanne, the two black women who have spoken at length about the mistreatment being the sole black members in a world-famous multicultural girl group brought. Their stories provided the blueprint for the very anxieties that Katseye's fans are now expressing. It's a pattern where diversity is celebrated on magazine covers, but the individuals representing them are not being protected.
Now, I don't go here, I'm just a neighbor, but what they're doing to this girl is so fucked up, and all of these labels need to burn to the ground. Oh, she's just taking a break for her health, guys. It's not like we've already been excluding her from shit, and literally calling her selfish and lazy in an official fan quiz. It's not a good sign when immediately after they announce her hiatus for health reasons, she has to come online and say, I'm fine, guys, it's okay, I don't know what's going on, but I trust the process, and I'll see you guys soon. I know the contracts these girls are under, they're not allowed to say anything or do anything without the company's approval, and when she does try to have her own life, they punish her behind the scenes. So she goes on Instagram and likes these posts calling out the racism and mistreatment, and I know they're getting on her ass about that too. And then you have Daniela's dad being weird as fuck, not helping the MAGA allegations, commenting shit like, the show must go on, Katseye's bigger than one girl. We need girls who can grind, 5 is okay too. Come back when you ready to work. That's your daughter's friend. And they just announced she has to go on hiatus for health reasons, and your first response is, we can do it without her. The show must go on. And before anyone says, it's probably a work ethic thing. She doesn't show up, so there's gonna be consequences. You are under spells, people! You work these girls to death, and if they need a break, they call them slackers, and you're gonna side with the company? They make children sign 10-year contracts, and if they try to leave, they sue them, and you're gonna side with the company? Leave Danielle alone! I mean, Manon!
So why does this keep happening? Well, the easier answer is lack of support for Black artists and no real infrastructure to cater to Black audiences. Over the decades, Black musicians had very few platforms to market themselves like they used to during the height of R&B or rap. It's also hard for Black artists to get support from labels, mainly because at present, majors aren't interested in investing in artists, much less Black ones, so it only gets worse for Black female groups. Just look at the slew of rap pop girls who have come and went this past few years, all of which could have been a main pop girl by now, and have you noticed they all have a similar look? It just speaks to what the labels deem as marketable and what audiences they're targeting. In other words, mainstream America. Unlike decades prior, Black labels could make successful acts catering to our own. Some acts were so popular they could cross over. You can see it in the images of these Black groups. They had different hues and different features. Cut to now with labels prioritizing a specific demo and everyone else is sidelined. The diversity in these groups cater to the white gaze and thus all the prejudices it comes with. Global girl groups aren't new. We've had them in the West, but it's relatively new for K-pop. So far, it's birthed Blackpink, and I think HYBE wanted to create another ensemble that could reach their level. Katseye was an interesting idea, a group with members from diverse backgrounds coming together to create pop music that transcends borders. It's a marketer's dream, selling an idealized version of globalization where cultures blend seamlessly with K-pop's methodology. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This model often derives from a specific kind of diversity. A mosaic where each piece is distinct but no single one dominates. The inclusion of one Black member like Manon allows the group and its label to claim the banner of inclusivity, but her Blackness can become shallow like an aesthetic, a demographic box to be checked off. The problem is this palatable diversity often comes at the expense of being genuine.
Okay, fine.
I said this in my Grammy video about Katseye and Flo, where I'd mentioned that Flo, their rooted heritage and how specific they are with their culture makes it more appealing to me as opposed to Katseye, where the global girl group seems diluted, trying to tick off as many boxes as possible to be as massively appealing as possible. Katseye's diversity feels warped and only prioritized for monetary gain. We know Katseye serves a market and was created by a company that's rife with anti-Blackness, so it's no surprise Manon was treated the way she was. When my timeline was dominated by the girls' ongoing drama, there were also conversations on Twitter calling for more Black girl groups into the mainstream. Just look at the British girl group Flo. They've made noise winning the prestigious Brit Awards for Rising Star and are Grammy nominated. They've made history just based off their achievements alone, their touring, their nominations. They've got great singing chops and breathtaking harmonies and are, by many, considered exceptional. And yet, they're the only Black female group supported on a major label. And I have to ask, with all their achievements, where is their Netflix docu-series funded by $1 billion company? Where is their massive multi-continental promotional push? While Flo has achieved significant critical acclaim and a dedicated fan base, the path has been more traditional, harder fought grind. This isn't a knock on Katseye's talent, but an observation of the industry's priorities. Labels seemingly are willing to invest hundreds of millions into a multicultural experiment rather than an all-Black group. In the eyes of these same executives, Flo might be seen as quote-unquote not marketable.
So annoying.
Acts like them are pigeonholed to R&B spaces no matter how universally appealing their music is. This is a paradox. The industry creates a market that celebrates diversity, then uses the market to justify not investing as heavily into authentically black acts. But if I'm going to keep it real, I also think another huge factor as to why there's so few popular black girl groups out is because I don't think y'all are checking for them. And why is that? Is it because the scrutiny is super high for black girls? Maybe it's because they aren't meticulously packaged, and or it could be the music is subpar. Part of being a group enthusiast is allowing groups to find their footing, watching them gradually have great aesthetics and great music. They're gonna work up to it. But unfortunately, in a lot of black fandoms, a lot of the audiences, they don't allow the artist to gracefully, gradually grow, with the exception of like male rappers, but that's just my opinion. The uncomfortable truth might be that the industry and perhaps even the audience finds a multicultural lineup more commercially viable than an all black girl group or black group in general. The first allows for a celebration of diversity without ever failing to center blackness. The second demands that you see and support black women on their own terms, not as contemporary piece in a diverse puzzle. The outpouring support for Manon is powerful, but it's a defense against a predictable outcome. The real measure of progress won't be how we rally to save one black girl being pushed out of a mixed group, but it's when we start building and supporting institutions where black girls are the foundation and not the token. The story of Katseye and Manon Bennerman isn't just about one artist. It's a mirror reflecting the industry's deeply flawed approach to diversity. It highlights a system that may capitalize on the look of multiculturalism while failing to provide the support needed for black women and the uses for that image. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. Goodbye.